My name is Victor, and this is my Police Chronicle. Um, I was going to graduate school at the University of South Carolina in the city of Columbia, South Carolina. And I was coming back from teaching a class, and I got home and I didn't have any soap. So I walked across the street from my apartment to a gas station. I purchased some soap, and when I was walking back across in the parking lot, three police cars just pulled up and with their car, with their guns drawn, had me lay down on the ground. They handcuffed me, kind of just threw me around a bit, and said that I fit the description of a robbery and murder up the street. And when you hear murder, I just kind of I turned white. I was just like, what are you talking about? I just walked across the street to buy a bar of soap, and they asked me where I was coming from. I said I'm a student. I'm a graduate student. He said, "You're a student? I was like, "Yeah, I'm a graduate student. You're in grad school." And they just couldn't believe that I was in grad school at the University of South Carolina. What's really weird is that at the time I was teaching a class, and a couple of my students that lived in the building that I lived in walked up, and they were like, "What are you doing to our teacher?" And I was just like, just stand back. And that's when they were just like, well, maybe he is a graduate student. And I sat there for a while, maybe about 15, 20 minutes, and then they had the lady show up that survived the murder and robbery. And she's sitting in the car. Like, I could see her and she could see me. And, they kept asking her, "Is that the guy who robbed the gas station?" And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, if she just says yes. Fortunately, she said, "No, that's not him." And they just, went crazy and just started asking her again, "How do you know? Why do you know? How do you know? Because of this and this and this." And she's like, "No." And I said, I just said myself, I said, "Listen, she just said it wasn't me. So, uncuff me." They had me, they told me to shut up and just sit there. And she said, and not trying to boast or anything like that, she says, "He's better looking than the guy who robbed us." And two of the police officers left, she left, and then I was left there by myself with another police officer. He uncuffed me, put me in the car, and just harassed the heck out of me, just telling me that, asking where I'm from, where did I go to school, Atlanta, Georgia isn't shit, Morehouse isn't shit, you guys think that you're better than us. And this is a white officer. They're all white officers. And I recall him just saying that that I'm not welcome. He says, "We don't want you here. You're not welcome." And he let me out of the car, and he was about to drive off, and I had to hit the side of the car. And he says, "What?" I said, "Can I have my soap back?" They had taken the soap and the receipt, and they had it the whole time. And I said, "Can I have my soap?" And he just realized that he had it on his front seat. And he just picks it up and he throws it out his window onto the ground, and he tears off. So I pick up the soap and I go into my apartment, and I'm 300 miles from home, and I just tear up my apartment because it was just, I just didn't feel safe, so, and just mad, for somebody just thinking that I'm a murderer just because I was walking down the street. Like, oh, let's just harass him, or that might be it. Let's get him. And I packed a bag and I left Columbia, South Carolina. I went home to Atlanta, and I called my department chair and I just told them that I'll be back, but I'll be back when I want to come back, when I feel safe.